Hello everyone, this is me Sharon and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to crochet this mini backpack with zipper and a front pocket. And you can add some buttons there as well. This one makes a great souvenir and as giveaways. So I hope you stay tuned and watch until the end of this video. By the way, do not forget to hit like, comment if you have other requests that you'd like to see on my channel, and if you're new, do not forget to subscribe. To start this project, we're going to make a slip knot and then we're going to chain 10. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then we're going to add one more for the turning chain on the second chain from hook. That is where we're gonna work our first single crochet. So you're gonna work one single crochet into each chain except for the last chain, in which you're gonna work 4 single crochets. Once you get to the last stitch, you're going to work 4 single crochets all in the same stitch, and this will turn our work to the opposite side, and then into the next available stitch continue working 1 single crochet into every stitch until you get to the last stitch or until you get to the end of the row. So from here on, we're going to work back and forth. So after doing the last single crochet, chain 1 and then turn, and then continue working 1 single crochet into every stitch. Now you just have to know where you added the increase in the previous round, because that is where we're gonna locate the increase and then add an increase into the next row. So just keep working 1 single crochet into every stitch. Now once you get to the 4 single crochets, work 2 single crochets into the second and the third of the 4 single crochet group. So you don't need to know how many rows of single crochets unless you want to. You can take down, but you just need to pay attention to the increase that you've made in the previous round, because that is exactly where we're going to add our increase for the next few rounds. So after that, just continue working 1 single crochet into every stitch until the end of the row. Now for row 3, we're going to chain 1 and then turn. Continue working 1 single crochet into each stitch until you get to the increase area. So once you get to the increase area, you're gonna work an increase or 2 single crochets into the first of the 2 single crochet of the previous round, and then into the next 2 stitches working 1 single crochet into each, and then finally work your last increase for this row, and then after that just continue working 1 single crochet into every stitch until the end of this row. Now remember, for every row we will only add 2 increases or 2 set of 2 single crochets. Now for row 4, we're going to chain 1 and turn, and then we will keep on working 1 single crochet into every stitch until we get to the increase of the previous row. So the next step is we're going to work an increase into the second of the 2 single crochet of the previous row, and then work 1 single crochet into each of the next 3 stitches. So remember, we're only going to add 2 increases, and the last increase will be after that. So we're gonna work 2 single crochet into the next stitch, and then we will continue working just 1 single crochet into every stitch until we get to the last stitch. For the final row, we are going to chain 1 and turn, 1 single crochet into each stitch, and then we will keep doing that until we get to the second single crochet of the previous row. Now once we get to the second of the 2 single crochet, that is where we're gonna add this increase or 2 single crochet, and then work 1 single crochet into each of the next 4 stitches. Now after that, we are going to add our final increase, and we will do 2 single crochets. So make sure that you locate the second single crochet of the 2 single crochets of previous row, and then continue working 1 single crochet into each stitch until you get to the last stitch. So that's how simple it is, and we have created a half oval shaped piece, and we will also make 2 pieces of this later. We are not done yet, so after this we're going to work a row of single crochets on this side to even out the edges, and then after this we are just going to work a slip stitch on top of the next single crochet on the other side. So I think I did about 10 single crochets on this row, so you have to keep that in mind for later, and then work a slip stitch in here. Now for the next 2 rounds, we're going to continue working in rounds. So the first round will be chaining 1, and then into the same stitch we are going to work single crochets on back loop only. So 1 single crochet on back loop only into each stitch until we get back around. So that is what we're gonna do for this round only. Now here I'm doing my last 2 stitches, and then after that I'm going to work a slip stitch on top of the first single crochet. So I will include, or I will catch the 2 loops in there, And then the next round will be a normal single crochet, wherein I will chain one single crochet into the same stitch, and I will continue doing that until I get back around. So once you get back around, you're gonna slip stitch on the very first single crochet, chain one, and then we're going to fasten off. We will make one more piece, and once we're done with that, the next thing that we're gonna do is we're going to join these two pieces together. Make sure to add stitch marker so you will know where to start and end the round. Make sure to count the number of stitches so that your project will not be lopsided. So I still had to count first so that the stitch on both sides are even. So at first I did slip stitches, and I think it's much better than if you're gonna work a single crochet, but it's up to you. You can use either single crochets or slip stitching, or you can just sew it using a yarn needle. So after this, we will just continue slip stitching until we get to the other end. So once we're done, we can just work our last slip stitch, and you can chain one and then fasten off, leave a long tail, make sure to secure the end so that later on when we attach the zipper, it's very secure and it will not come undone. So I will just weave in all the ends to make it look neat, and then after that we're going to add a front pocket for this mini backpack. So when you're making the front pocket, you have to know the numbers that you need, the number of stitches that you need for the height and the length. So in here I counted the number of rows that I will need, and I will have 10 rows, and then I will have 7 single crochets per row. So that is what I'm going to do in order to make the front pocket. So I'm going to work a slip knot, and then I'm going to chain 8 or chain 7 and add one more for the turning chain, so that after you work your single crochets per row, you're gonna have a total of 7 single crochets per row, and you're going to repeat that until you have 10 rows in total. Okay, so when you get to the next row, after working one single crochet, do not forget to chain one and then turn every time you go back and forth, and then work a single crochet in the same stitches where you have chained one. That way you're gonna have 7 single crochets per row, and we will need 10 rows of 7 single crochets. So this is what it's going to look like after finishing the piece for the front pocket, and we are going to attach it like this. So you don't have to fasten off, you can attach it by working on the front loops, and on this part of the front pocket you're chaining 1 and then insert the hook into the loop of the first piece and into the second piece that is on back loop only, and then continue working 1 single crochet into each stitch. You can also do slip stitches if you want to, but I find that working single crochets is much better and it makes the join sturdier. So it's up to you whether you want to do a whip stitch or you can just sew it using yarn needle instead of working a single crochet if you think that it's bulky. The mini backpack that I've made previously is different on how I attach the strap. You can do this way so that you don't have to attach it later on after making the strap. And then you just have to weave in the ends after this. So in here, to attach the zipper, you can just use some pins to secure it first before sewing it. I have other videos in which I have showed in detail how to attach the zipper. So it's pretty much the same thing whether it's an oval, half oval shape or round shape. I usually do it after flipping the purse, and just to be different, I tried pinning it first from the outside, but afterwards I find it harder to sew from the outside going to the inside. So what I did is I flipped it, and then that's when I started sewing it. So this one is a bit difficult to do, but there's always another way on how to make it easier to sew. So this is what it's going to look like once you flip it, and just make sure that the zipper is upside down and the slider is easy to pull out once you flip this back. As you can see, I have attached the bag handle right next to the two straps. It's over the two straps, and it's also great to have, especially when you want to add key rings. You can add the key rings in there. And then the last thing that we're gonna do is we're going to add a button or any colorful bead that will make the mini backpack even look more attractive. And that is how you can make this mini backpack with a front pocket and a zipper. This makes a great coin purse for little girls, and I'm sure it will be great to make as a souvenir or as giveaways. By the way, if you're new to my channel, do not forget to check back on my previous video. I have made lots of purses with zippers and other cute stuffs that you would like to make. And also, if you have made one, please do not forget to tag me on my Instagram account. It's at Yarny26. Thank you so much and have a great day.